Hey folks, I hope everyone is doing really well. I've been playing a lot of this game called Foundations lately. It's this cute, cozy little city builder game set in a medieval period. I'll put a link for it down in the description or in the comments below. But it's got me thinking a lot about compulsion loops and how by creating a problem for the player to solve, that incentivizes them to keep playing. You see, the way that the game works is you're always trying to solve something. You've either got a problem with regards to there's not enough space in your inventory or in the warehouses that you put all your wheat or your stone in, or there's not enough resource collectors of, say, stone, or there's not enough people or buildings assigned to turn whatever is being collected into like a consumable resource. Like with stone, it turns into polished stone. So a lot of this, I mean, there's a lot of really interesting design here, and I mean, the core loop must be like wonderful, and the whole progression system. And I'd really love to see. I'm actually thinking about laying out a map of how everything kind of ties together. But a lot of what it comes down to is this imperfect balance. You see, pretty much everything in the game that you create gets consumed by something. It either goes into trade, or it gets consumed by your villagers, or it gets consumed in order to build something. And the rate at which it gets consumed is always a little bit off from the rate at which you produce it. At least it doesn't feel like it can be perfectly set up. Like the OCD part of my brain wants to have it perfectly set up that the amount of wheat that I'm collecting turns into flour, which turns into bread, which keeps my villagers fed and probably leaves some to trade as well. That's what I want. I want this perfect like system, and I want to be able to like put it in a way that everything like is planned out in such a way. Very Sim City, right? Like in Sim City, you can pretty much get that perfected. But the way that this game actually intentionally takes away some of the control from you, it doesn't allow for that. Wheat is a good example. When you place down a farm, it asks you to paint an area of the map that is where you will place down, sow the seed. I don't know, I'm not a farmer. Sow the seed for the wheat that's going to grow. The size of the plot is somewhat based on how many farmers you have assigned to the wheat farm. And then you just paint it down, and it says whether, like, it gives you feedback about, oh, the plot is too small, or it's adequate, or it's too large. It doesn't say how much you're going to generate per second. It doesn't give you a lot of information about that. So you can try and min-max it, but really there's no way, because a lot of the control is kind of taken away from you in that sense. And it's not just about information. It's actually about the control of, well, you paint it, we'll collect it, and then we'll feed it to the thing. And it's just going to be a certain number. It's not exact. It's not like a science. I mean, I'm sure there is like an exact number behind there. And I'm sure that there is some amount of like, definitely very, very well-tuned systems there. But because on the player side, even though I'm trying to solve the problem and I want to do it in this absolutely perfect way, because they've somewhat taken away control from me, but done it in such a way that it feels fine, like it doesn't feel frustrating that I don't have that control, because there's this cosmetic component to it. Like it's not about the whole game is actually like, you probably don't want to min-max it, right? Like because it feels cozy, it's presented in such a way that it's okay. Like, well, we're making this pretty for you. We're softening the edges. And that's why you don't want to lay down like perfect lines. And the result is really rewarding. It looks very good. Now take that and then combine it by like 40 different systems all working together all at the same time, be it stone or iron or bread production or brewing or dairy farming or bringing villagers in or tax rates or trade, like all those different things all happening all at the same time, and feeling like you have all these little problems that you want to solve and you'd like to get every single one of them perfect. but you can't. And then the second, like there's this nice loop of, I want to build another stone polisher to polish the stone that I have collecting because I'm collecting too much stone. So I build that stone polisher, but all of the people in my village are assigned to jobs. So I bring in another villager. I accept another immigrant. They then go to the polished stone. That then puts everything else out of whack. And it creates a problem in everything else. And you can tell I'm smiling. It's because it's such a clever little system. Anyway, it just got me thinking about how by designing and intentionally creating these problems with imperfect solutions, you can create a really compelling compulsion loop. Anyway, I thought that was fun to talk about. So I'll link it down below. I highly encourage you to check it out. There's a whole bunch of these games coming out. I'm not sure, like, I guess someone decided that they were all going to release in this month for some reason. So, but anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow.